Hello, this video we're talking about the foot. We're going to talk about the big toe, the plantar fascia, and stability, and how those three things are related. But first, our disclaimer. Mike Matthews, physical therapist here with the PT 411. Thanks so much for joining me. If you already haven't done so, make sure you follow, like, subscribe, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. Also, make sure you check out thept411.com. I'm trying to come out with new content a little more frequently, so make sure you stay up to date by checking all that out. So like I said, today we're talking about the foot. More specifically, we're going to talk about the first ray. And when I'm talking about the first ray of the foot, I'm talking about the medial side of the foot right here, the inside of the foot. More specifically, I'm talking about the big toe here, its associated metatarsal and the tarsal bones back here. But more importantly, this spot right here. Now we want to make sure that we always have really good mobility in this big toe right here, and it directly relates to our plantar fascia under here. So if I were to take a look at my plantar fascia down here, and excuse my nasty calluses here, but if I'm taking a look at the bottom side here, my plantar fascia is this band of tissue that runs underneath this first ray, crossing over this joint right here, and it runs all the way down to my heel right here, and it's a nice thick band of tissue here. And the big thing is, while I'm talking about mobility in this first ray, in this big toe right here, is whenever this big toe flexes up, it actually puts tension on the plantar fascia right there. And that is going to give us stability in this foot. And we are very, very dependent on that plantar fascia for a lot of stability in that foot. Reason being is we have so many bones in that foot, and having all those bones in that foot serves its own purpose. The big thing is not only do we need stability, we need a lot of mobility in that foot as well. The mobility comes from all those individual bones. They come together and dip various spots, all articulating with each other, and they have lots of movement. Well, some of them have lots of movement, some of them have just a little bit of movement, but they serve a very specific purpose. The purpose of all this is that every time when we start to step down, right after our heel hits the ground, when our foot starts to advance forward just a little bit, we want our foot to conform to the ground as much as possible. If we're on a nice flat surface, it's going to conform a certain way. If we're on a rocky surface, everything's a little bit off, a little bit more of an incline or a decline. These bones are going to shift around a little differently, so we can maximize our surface area of our foot on the ground, or our foot in our shoe, which is up against the ground. So it serves a very, very specific purpose, having all these bones to give us a lot of stability down there. But on the other side of things, since we have all these bones, it's going to make it very unstable for us if we have to push off and we have all this extra mobility there. So that's where that plantar fascia comes in. That's why we need it to be nice and strong and nice and taut by the time we're stepping forward and we're pushing off. So when we're stepping forward, again, first thing, our foot needs to conform to the ground, but as our other foot starts to advance forward and our heel starts to lift off the ground, our big toe is going to start flexing. That dorsiflexion there is going to activate that plantar fascia. It's going to put tension on it, and it's going to prevent all these small bones, all these small joints in the mid-foot from moving. So we have a nice, firm, and stiff foot that we can push off of, so we have nice, good strength, so we can actually advance our bodies forward. But there are potential issues that can happen if we're not using that foot and all those structures in there the way they're intended. So we're going to look at a few of those here. And one of the most common things that we can see that leads us down this dark path is simply out-toeing, having our toes rotated outwards, our foot rotated outwards a little bit as we're walking. So the big thing that happens there is if my foot is straight forward and I'm going to take a step, that big toe gets that natural dorsiflexion there as my other foot starts advancing forward. And I'll actually do it on the other side so you can see a little bit better. So normal step here, I start to get that. As this foot starts to cross over here, I start to get that dorsiflexion. Big problem is, and whenever I am stepping with that foot more up to the side, I'm not getting tension through that plantar fascia right there, and this entire foot just likes to collapse inward as I'm rotating in this way. And now, as I'm taking that step forward with it out that way, I lose this stability here. Now, I actually start to pivot more in my midfoot than up here, and I'm not getting that stiffness there to push off from. When that happens, this heel stays on the ground longer as well to compensate for that loss of stability there. Now our foot stays flatter on the ground longer, and since that foot is staying on the ground more, now we're putting too much tension across our calf muscle. From there, the knee won't extend back all the way. As we're advancing forward, it stays a little bit more bent. And because the knee isn't fully extending there, it's staying bent, I'm not getting that full extension in that hip back there as well. And since I'm not getting full extension in my hip joint, now my lower back has to bend forward and extend more to compensate for that. So just from this one simple thing down at the foot not working the way that we want it to, we can now start to cause issues going all the way up the chain and affecting multiple body parts. It can potentially cause a lot of issues here. So we gotta make sure that we're walking properly here. And the big problem with this plantar fascia down here, if we're gonna focus more on this, is if we're constantly always stepping, out toeing right here, we're not putting any stress on that plantar fascia there. And the thing with tissues, they respond to the stress that we put on them, and they also respond to the stresses that we don't put on them. All that means is a tissue that's nice and stressed out properly is going to stay nice and strong and healthy, and a tissue that's not stressed out properly, like what we're talking about here with the plantar fascia, if it's not stressed out properly, it's going to get weak over time. It's just going to get weaker and weaker. Then all of a sudden we place a demand on it. We go out for our jog, we go out and run, we have to jump, we have to do something that's a little more strenuous than what it's used to. That tissue is going to fail. It's going to get injured, and we're going to develop our plantar fasciitis right there. And that's one big thing that we want to avoid as much as we can, because it can be a little bit of an issue, a little bit of a difficulty to treat in some people. Some people respond really well to treatments, and other people, it can take a long time. It can be a nagging injury for a very long time. So we want to do what we can to try to avoid this and cut down on these risk factors the best that we can. The first big thing is just making sure that we're correcting our gait, our walking pattern right from the get-go. We don't want to give this any room to get weak on us. We want to keep it nice and strong. We want to get it stressed out with each and every step in a proper, healthy way. The first big thing that we've got to do is we got to bring that foot forward. We got to keep those toes forward when we are walking. A big indicator, if we're walking with our foot way out to the side on our big toe, on the inside of the big toe right here, we're going to have an overformed callus. Everybody's going to have a little bit of a callus here from pushing off of it from time to time, but big thing that's going to happen is you're going to have a way bigger overdeveloped callus on the inside of the big toe there, because we're starting to push off from there with all that out toeing. Another thing that'll end up happening over time is all that pressure is going to get that big toe pointed more outwards there. It's going to start to make it laterally deviate out to that side. It's going to push it against the rest of these toes right here. Each toe might get affected differently, and before we know it, we have our toes, instead of them going straight out, they're going to start going outward and outward, 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 outward. So we got to make sure, not only just for a functional standpoint, but from an aesthetic standpoint, we want to try to keep our toes going straight forward there. But oftentimes, it's not just that simple. We have to make sure that we're distributing weight properly throughout that foot so that we can initiate that dorsiflexion in that big toe at that right time. So we're going to take a little bit closer look at that right here. Whenever we are stepping forward and right after our heel hits the ground, as we're advancing forward there, we want the majority of our weight very quickly to come along the outside border of our foot right here. That's going to travel more outwards this way, and as we advance forward, the weight of our body is going to start to shift all the way back to here. The majority of our body weight is going to be right here as our other foot starts to cross over here. So as we step forward, heel hits the ground, we start to advance forward, our body weight comes here, but really quickly it advances right back up to here, so that whenever our body weight is through there and we're starting to go forward right here, we get that dorsiflexion there in order to get that tension there. So I'll kind of show you here, and we'll try to slow it down a little bit. So our normal step here, and if it's slowed down quite a bit right there, whenever I'm stepping there, that heel down, pressure through the outside of my foot. As this foot's coming here, about even right there, my weight is now under that joint of that big toe right there, that MCP joint. Not back here, not up here, but right there. And my heel is coming up off the ground a little bit. So as I go forward there, right there, heel's off the ground, I'm getting some of that dorsiflexion there. As it advances forward more, I'm getting even more of that dorsiflexion, even more stability there. So I'm gonna get that push off as I fall onto my other heel to initiate that process over there as well. Now we're going to continue on with the foot. Next week we're going to actually talk about active plantar fasciitis and things that we can do to help treat it, to move along and facilitate the healing process there. So make sure you tune in to check that one out. Again, I'm Mike Matthews with the PT411. Thanks for joining me.